Hey guys, just thought I'd stop by again and make another video tonight of a crazy night I had at the bar. Tonight was a wild night. I had a lot of good. Unlike last night, I had some good, but I had some bad too. Let's start with the good. Well, I guess we'll start with the bad actually. I had a rough night and had a lot of symptoms early before I went to the bar and club. I went by the bowling alley. I always go there for a little while, and I was having a lot of symptoms tonight. Just did not feel well, and almost wished. I thought, oh God, I'm just going to go home and go to bed. But I didn't. I decided to go to the bar and the club, and my symptoms kind of got worse when I went inside, and I thought, I'm crying inside. I mean, it was really bad. The suffering was really bad, and it was crowded full of hot women. Two in particular that I know. One of them really does like me, and trust me when I say it. And they gave me an approach invitation that I believe they did, because they were standing around all other times, and of course guys were coming up to them. Obviously, I mean they're very attractive. They're pretty much near Stacy range, Stacy Light at least. I mean they're very attractive, and of course guys were approaching them and everything. But all of a sudden they came back to where I was standing and stood off to the side near where I was. Not right where I was, but enough that I could turn around and walk over and say, hello. And I, of course, didn't, because I was really suffering at the time. And later on I went and sat down, and my symptoms pretty much cleared up almost. I was so depressed because they left early. They left at about 12, and I just wish that they'd stayed longer. And I don't know if they went anywhere else, because there's other bars and clubs, around the area. But they, in the downtown area. But I don't know if they went to them. I stayed in there for a while and had a few looks and glances. Not too many tonight as much as last night. I had a lot, but it got better. I left and I walked down to the other bar, and that's when one of the really bad things happened. I'm standing outside, and they had closed the bar down, and I'm standing there, and this girl comes out with this guy, real jackass guy, the Chad kind of guy, Alpha Chad, and not unbelievable looking, but a jerk, real scumbag. And he looks at me, and I thought he was kidding at first, because I didn't know he was a scumbag. And to show you no good deed goes unpunished, he goes, I thought he just meant waiting to score with a hot girl coming out, and I thought he was kidding, and I went, oh yeah, man, like that. And then he went, he goes, that's effed up, and just kept saying it, being real sarcastic, And I was like, well, that's how I get my women. And then I thought, nah, he's being a jerk. So after that, I just didn't talk to him. But he kept doing it. Man, you're pathetic, man. Trying to rape women, which is never what he said. Just a complete fool. And the girl that was with him, she was kind of defending me, but it was just like, yeah, he acts that way because you're with him, encouraging this behavior. Because you like him, it turns you on when he acts like a scumbag. But they finally walked on, and I'm standing there, and I finally kind of leave and head out of that area, and I go back down to the bar that I was in. I go inside, and I get approached by a girl that comes down on and off. She was at her high school. They had their 20-year high school reunion, and she was had come in with some friends. They had come into the bar, and she comes over and says hi to me. She always does if she sees me. And she came over, and we talked for a few minutes. And I didn't know if she was married. I should have asked, but like I said, it had been a rough night. And but I didn't ask. But we stood there and talked for a few minutes. And I could tell she wanted to get back to her friends, so I let her go. Get back with them. I'm a good reader of body language, and I let her go back, and I basically stayed, and I had a good time. It wasn't perfect, but it was decent, And I stayed in there tonight. No fight like it was last night. And then as I went outside, a girl that I almost had a one-night stand with was there for the first time in a while, and she came up to me and saw me, and she went, "Shane, no way." I wish I could have videoed all of it, but she went, "Shane, no way." Of course, she ran up and hugged me. She's in her early 20s, maybe 22, 23, and she came and gave me a big hug. And the time that I could have had the one-night stand with her, she was about 19 years old, about 19, 20, 19, 20 years old. And I'll tell that story sometime, but yeah, she came up and talked with me for a while, and she really stayed, hugged me 3 times, gave me the biggest hug, and she was there with a guy. I know she was. And she finally left and said goodbye. And both the other girl approached other guys, guys that I could tell she was attracted to, and she approaches her chads, and apparently in her mind, I'm a chad, because that's what they do. They approach the guys they want, that they desire, and it makes me feel good. I mean, that kind of helped after the almost fight from that jackass. Kind of made me feel better, But what do you do? It was a decent night. It wasn't great, but it was decent. So that's about all I got to say. I just thought I'd bring it up and talk about it. Because tonight was really rough. I mean, these are the only 2 days I get to do anything, on Friday and Saturday, because a lot of things are closed at night, and I really just can't go into a lot of stores because I suffer so much. But I just was going to leave the video there because I just like talking about these. It helps me to feel better. So, take care, guys. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.